Hello everybody, Dark Skeleton here, and today we're going to be taking a look at two new Wrath of the Whispers of the Old Gods cards, and we're looking at the new Shaman legendary, Hallazeal the Ascended, which is a 5 mana 4/6, reasonable. Whenever your spells deal damage, restore that much health to your hero. What immediately comes to mind with a card like this is Elemental Destruction. Deal 4 to 5 damage to everything on the field, and that would not kill Hallazeal. So technically you could do that, and you would gain a metric truck ton of HP, probably a full heal like Reno Jackson. However, that also blows up your own field, including most of the HP off of Hallazeal. So a play like that would be desperation for sure. More reasonable would be Lightning Storm, 2 to 3 damage or more with spell damage to everything on your opponent's side of the field. Honestly, you probably only need like a heal bot's worth of heal. Really in any game, and considering you're getting 4/6 stats, which is considerably more than a regular heal bot. In fact, it would be average for a 5 mana drop. If you can get 8 HP, that would make this card actually quite fantastic, and would really help control Shamans out a lot, because one of the issue with playing control decks that aren't, say, Warrior or Priest, is that they're kind of vulnerable to just aggro decks eventually rushing them down. Warrior gets away with survival a little bit because they have a truck ton of cards that get them armor, and they can also increase their HP beyond 30 because of that, and Priest always has access to heal. Also a ton of removal cards, though Light Bomb's going out the door, so who knows how Priest is going to be played after Standard. But cards like this definitely would push Control Shaman into more of a real thing. It's kind of a play style I've played around with a little bit, and it's almost viable. And I think cards like this would help kind of push it more towards that viability zone. So I do like the card a lot. I don't necessarily know if you want to play it with direct removal spells like Crackle or Lava Burst, but you certainly could. Maybe with a Crackle spell that would be pretty decent. You know, you get 4 or 5 HP, and if it survives a turn, then you can get even more HP. So it kind of forces your opponent into trading with it, which is a good thing for any control deck. Any card that forces your opponent to trade with your minions is great because it slows the aggro decks down. So, nice card, I like it. And then next up we have the N'Zoth Tentacle, or N'Zoth's Tentacles. Man, every card in this set is so hard to pronounce. Bloody Cthulhu Mythos. Anyway, it's a 1 mana 1/1. Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions, so it's kind of similar to the Unstable Ghoul, which is now leaving Standard, because that was an Axrama's card, which was a 2 mana 1/3 taunt, deal 1 damage to all minions. Kind of tricky to say which one's better. I would probably lean towards the Unstable Ghoul simply because it's a taunt, so it literally forces your opponent to deal with it and forces your opponent to get bad trades if you had basically set them up with a field of 1/1s and you play the Ghoul and there's nothing they can do about it, kind of like if you played an Abomination. Let's see though, that said, what would you play this in? Because it's a 1/1 that doesn't have taunt, so it's kind of tricky to use properly. You could kind of say, well, for a mage it's a 3 mana 1 damage explosive sheet, but then why not just play not Unstable Portal, Arcane Explosion? Or you could say it's just a 1 mana minion you play on the board, sort of like playing Corruption, and after you take the damage for that turn, you attack the minion in and you get value out of it. But I don't know if that's really good, because Corruption certainly isn't. Given the comparison between those two cards, not perfect, but it doesn't really do anything when you play it. And if you play it without blowing it up, it definitely opens your opponent up to getting some damage in on your face, which is not what you want as a control deck. Maybe it would be best in Warrior, honestly, because whirlwind effects like that tend to be really good for them, and it damages your own minions as well. So Acolyte of Pain, Armor Smith, getting this down on a board with that kind of stuff could be pretty good, definitely. I just don't know if it's a good enough replacement for Unstable Ghoul, though, because Unstable Ghoul had more health, it's more versatile, it has taunt, so it can block really big things, too. And the N'Zoth's Tentacle is just like a 1 mana delayed Arcane Explosion that also hits your own minions. So maybe for Warriors, definitely interesting. There's only so much you can do with a 1 mana card, and this is kind of pushing the limits of kind of how interesting a 1-mana card can get, I think. Well, certainly McGurleton definitely wins that award, but it's interesting. I don't know if it's good. Probably we'll try it out in some warrior decks for sure. Maybe even in Priest if you wanted to get Circle of Healing card draw value. That's a thought. So, in any case, I've been Dark Skeleton. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll be reviewing more cards in the future, as always. So, till next time, guys. See you then.